Alright guys, we're going to do the solving system of equations by a process called elimination. It is the third method in finding the intersection point between two linear equations without graphing. The objective or the goal here is that the coefficients of one of the variables has to be opposite numbers. So in this case we have a system of equations and you can see that the variable x has coefficients of 4 and -4. They're opposites. So in this case we don't have to do anything other than add the columns straight down, eliminating x, solving for y, as I will demonstrate to you now. You always add down the columns. And by adding, because you have opposite coefficients, 4 plus a -4 is going to give you 0. So the x's will cancel out. Now you add down the columns here for y, and you get 8y plus 2y, and that's going to give you 10y. And then you have 20 plus a -30, and that's going to give you -10. And you're going to solve for y by dividing 10 on each side, and y will equal to -1. Okay, so next step, you need the x value to complete your solution point, which is your point of intersection. So you can take that y value as we did in substitution, and you're going to substitute it into either equation and solve for x. I'm going to choose the first equation because it doesn't have any negatives in it. It's a little easier. So I'm going to choose 4x plus 8y equals 20. And I'm going to substitute that y value in for y. So I'm going to get 4x plus 8 times a -1 equals 20. So 4x minus 8 equals 20. Add 8 on both sides. I'm going to bring this up over here. You're going to get 4x equals 28. Divide by 4, x equals 7, and your solution is 7, -1. That's the solution to this system of equations. I have checked it, and I know that it works, but you guys can do that on your own. All right, the next problem I want to show you is -4x plus 9y equals 9. And x minus 3y equals -6. Now here you can see that the coefficients in front of x are -4 and 1, and in front of y are 9 and -3. Alright, they're both opposites, but they don't match. So I have to force it. So if you look in your directions in step 2 that I gave you, you have to multiply one or both of the equations by a number to get them to be opposite numbers. So in this case, the second equation will be multiplied by a number to force it to either be the opposite of the coefficient of x or the opposite of the coefficient of y. I'm going to choose to eliminate x in this case here. And that means I'm going to have to multiply my second equation by the +4. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite my first equation. And we're going to multiply 4 by x, 4 by -3y, so you're going to get 12y, and 4 by -6 giving us -24. Remember, you always add. So 4x minus -4x plus a +4x gives us 0, so you have eliminated x. 9 plus a -12y is -3y. And 9 plus a -24 is going to be -15. Solve for y, divide by -3. So y equals 5. All right, so now you get to choose which equation to plug into, but always go back to your original. I'm going to choose to take this value of 5 for y, and I'm going to plug it into my second equation, x minus 3y equals negative 6. All right, so I'm going to take this up here. X minus 3y equals negative 6. So x minus 3 times 5 equals negative 6. X minus 15 equals negative 6. Add 15 to both sides. X equals to 9. So the solution is 9, 5. And again, that does check. And one last problem. In this case, I'm going to choose to eliminate y. And if I choose to eliminate y, that means I'm going to have to multiply the top by 9 and the bottom by 4. Because I kind of like a common denominator, need a common number between 9 and 4 that they both divide into, or they both can multiply out to be the same thing. So 36 would do us good. If you eliminate x, you go for 15. Okay? So I think I'm actually going to eliminate x. It looks a little easier to me because these numbers are going to be pretty high with that 36. So I'm going to eliminate x. Okay? So to do that, I'm going to get 15 for my coefficient here in my first equation, but I need negative 15 in my second one. So watch what we do. I'm going to multiply the first equation by 3. And we're going to multiply our second equation by negative 5. All right? So we're going to get 15x plus 12y equals negative 90. That's our first equation multiplied by 3. Second equation is negative 15x plus 45y equals positive 90. And remember, we're adding down. So 15x plus a negative 15x goes to 0. So I have successfully eliminated x. 12y plus 45y is 57y. Beautiful thing is negative 90 plus 90 is 0. So completing the solving for y, y equals 0. Substitute that value for 0 into any of the original equations. I will take the top equation. I'm going to take 5x plus 4y equals negative 30. I'm going to substitute in the value of 0 for y. That will go away. So 5x equals negative 30. Whoops, that didn't write so well. I'll do that up here. 5x equals negative 30. And so x equals negative 6. So our solution is negative 6, 0. And we are done. And again, that does check, but you should check it yourself.